Ooh, another Broncos loss. One game bad from start to finish, but a bunch of yards and touchdowns late. I'm Brandon Perna here with Will Keys. This is the That's Good Broncos podcast. It's on YouTube. It's also in podcast form, so you know what to do. Today's episode brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. And this is according to the place that does the rankings, so you know it's true. Make sure you use code DNVR when you sign up to get their can't-miss offers. Will,
Sure.
A lot to talk about with the Broncos losing to the Falcons today. I think we're both glad that Drew Lock got a lot of yards late, so we can continue our battle against Colin Cowherd and his shenanigans. But it was a shitty game, basically from start to finish.
It was. So a couple things just kind of on the overview of this game, kind of taking a step back and looking at it in totality. We've been talking about Atlanta all season, and of course, this is the week that they look like they put it all together. I know that, that would have applied a little bit more had the Broncos not started to rally a little bit in the fourth quarter. But through three quarters, this was the most complete game Atlanta's played this year.
Yeah, and I think
that's what we get for championing this team for so long. Of course, they do it against us.
It's what we get for letting Devontae Bosby walk when you've got two corners that have injury problems this season. So the real death knell, I think, was losing A.J. Bouye, who was taken out by Kareem Jackson last week with some friendly fire. And then Bryce Callahan, who I don't think anybody really knew was that banged up. Like, he popped up on the injury report this week, but I thought he was going to fucking play. No go. Luckily, the Falcons did not have Calvin Ridley, but basically Julio Jones is the equivalent of two wide receivers. So Broncos corners were rookies Isang Bassi and OJ Mudia, and then Devontae Harris, who Denver elected to keep over Bosby, probably because Harris plays some special teams. That's the only logic I can think there. And Harris was just fucking torched all day. Bosby had, OJ Mudia had his ankles broken by Julio on one touchdown. And Isang Bassi showed some flashes of being a pretty damn good line of scrimmage corner, going in, stopping some runs. But when you're down those guys in the secondary, also no Shelby Harris, I'm not going to give the Falcons the credit they deserve because they basically beat up the most injured version of the Broncos defense we've seen this season.
I think that's fair.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
I think you're right. The whole thing has been next man up through the first 7-8 weeks. And so finally,
there's no more men.
There's no men left.
There's just boys disguised as men, like me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think Shelby Harris was necessarily the Jenga piece, although you could tell that they missed him. It's like setting fire to a Jenga tower is what this season. It's like you don't need to pull the wrong piece if you just put the whole thing up into flames, and that's what's happened. So you lose too many guys. This is the result you're going to get.
Yeah. So I guess the problem. So Atlanta's offense playing well against the Broncos doesn't bother me because the Falcons' offense should be capable of playing well against pretty much anyone, in my opinion. What bothered me was seeing the Broncos' offense coming off a huge win, looking just bad, just flat out bad for four quarters of this game. They scored 6 points through the first 3 quarters. It was just really discouraging to see them not be able to do anything. And it's not like they need to be great, but you want to see a first half touchdown,
Right.
like something where you go, okay, they got a little bit better. They progressed a little bit, and everything's still not there. And I see a couple problems. One is Drew Lock's not reading the whole field. He doesn't see guys that are open. But like how much – I think that's something that evolves, right? Young quarterbacks learn to see the field better the more gameplay they get, and the Broncos aren't getting a ton of practice in right now because of COVID and all that other shit. But if you're an offensive coordinator, it's like, why is Pat Shurmur having like 5 wide receivers out there for him to read every play if he's not going to see them all? Like, that's what I think I mean when I say simplify the offense for him. Make him only have to see 1 or 2 things.
How many RPOs do you see?
None.
None, and that's the ultimate like play call for a guy who's not ready to just like scan the whole field from left to right. Is you give him one decision, which is, the defender crashed, and I'm going to hand the ball off, or the linebacker came in from this side and I'm going to throw the slant, or whatever variety of an RPO you're talking about. But that's what I felt like worked last year, and it's been taken out of the playbook because, I don't know, Pat Shurmur, his offense just feels totally antiquated. Like it feels like watching like the early 90s Houston Oilers run and shoot offense. Like why can we not adapt? And then you check over to red zone and Andy Reid's faking like direct snaps to the running back, and Pat Mahomes is rolling the other way with it, and it all looks so easy. Meanwhile, Drew Lock's trying to fit the ball in between 2 defenders out of the shotgun with an empty set, while Lloyd Cushenberry's on the left side of the field, leaving the A gap completely wide open.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. Just
why does Patrick Mahomes have enough time to do basically a 360 run backwards behind the line of scrimmage and then still throw like a touchdown pass? I think, okay, here's my question then. So if we give Pat Shurmur the benefit of the doubt, and he's just like, there's going to be some real bumps and bruises here, but if we just keep calling the offense the way that I want to run it, and Drew eventually picks up on it, like, do you see a point where it actually comes together and clicks and Locks like 5 receivers running routes every time? I'm going to fucking tear apart defenses, because I will see the crossing route or the curl route. Or do you think like your quarterback's not going to evolve in this system because it's, like you said, either antiquated or not conducive to actually learning to play in the NFL?
Yeah, like, and I'm open to thinking about giving players and coaches the benefit of the doubt this season, just because
there's a lot to factor in.
Involved is you've got off-season workouts totally cut out for the most part. They said during the broadcast that something like 4,500 reps were lost this spring and summer, which is the equivalent of a full season.
That is a lot.
With the gameplay.
Especially with a new coach, offensive coach.
Yep.
For a second-year QB.
Right. You get the 2 practices eliminated last week and then this week. And then you get you throw in the fact that the Broncos are the most injured team in the league, not named the 49ers.
Yeah.
And when you do take a step back and try to put things in perspective, you're like, wow, everybody involved in this organization should get a second chance next year.
Yeah,
when you're watching it, when you're in the middle of the game watching it, you're like, can we fire Pat Shurmur now?
Yeah.
We have to wait until halftime even?
Could we not even fire him? Can we just let Kareem Jackson take one shot on him. Unpadded Pat Shurmur gets hit by Kareem Jackson.
That's going to more than fire him.
Yeah. Every time Kareem Jackson is in on the play, he is trying to murder somebody. So that's still fun to watch until that turns into a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of wish that it would turn into a penalty the other way too, but
the Broncos. It felt like they weren't going to get any calls in this game to help them. Looked like Tim Patrick was pass interfered on a touchdown. What would have probably been a touchdown pass. It's hard to say, but I think I saw you tweeting. Might have been. It definitely looked like his arm got grabbed, and we saw the Broncos get flagged for pass interference for a lesser sort of offense earlier, like not that much.
They tried to get him for they tried to get OJ Mudia for another pass interference that got tipped by Draymond Jones at the line.
Yeah, we got lucky with that.
I mean, luck, process, who knows? But that, and then I don't know if it was the right call with the intentional grounding in the third quarter, where Locke threw it and it hit a Falcon before hitting the ground.
I don't know.
Intentional grounding. I don't know what the rules like on that one. I feel like it probably should cancel out the intentional grounding, but
if a defender touches it, it shouldn't be intentional grounding.
Right. Yeah. I mean that's fair.
Sounds like a rule that would be correct. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you're out of the pocket and you like try to throw the ball downfield at an open receiver, and then a defender past the line of scrimmage bats the ball down. I was like, well, is that intentional grounding too?
Yeah.
The ball didn't go near a receiver, and it behind the line of scrimmage. Oh well, I digress. The refs were not great today.
Not great. I don't think it – well, I mean, I guess the game ended up being close. I don't want to say it wouldn't matter, but it felt like –
it matters. Yeah.
It always matters, but –
wasn't issue number one, though.
The Broncos didn't outplay the Falcons, so that's why I'll just accept the loss. That said, Broncos had 44 seconds left in the game to get a game-tying touchdown, and I think there's a little bit of hope floating in our hearts because we saw it happen last week. And then the Broncos continued with maybe their worst series of the game, where Jerry Jeudy drops a pass, Phillip Lindsay drops a pass, Drew Lock throws a ball into the dirt that they called – do they call that a fumble or do they call it right? It was ruled an incomplete pass.
I think it was a fumble. Sacked. I think that's the one that they missed.
You think that should have been a fumble?
In favor. Yeah, probably.
And then
doesn't matter.
The final play, they have Tim Patrick in motion. The center snaps it too early. The ball bounces off of Tim Patrick's legs, and Atlanta recovers. So whatever is the opposite of a miracle, the Broncos figured that out on that final series. It was just ugly.
Somehow this team just always feels disorganized and behind schedule, and like they have to. You want to just not feel like you have to pull it out of your ass.
Yeah, I won't. What I will say is I will not bitch about Phillip Lindsay not being in the game late if you need to throw the ball.
Yeah. No, he had his hands turned the exact wrong way. Like he was like downfield, like hauling in a 40-yard pass, about to like cradle the ball.
I think we just
make the triangle and catch it like that.
In the light. It's like we just have to accept that as great as Phillip Lindsay is, that's his weakness.
Yeah, I mean, people are wondering why he's not on the field. It's like, okay, well, he doesn't catch the football correctly, clearly, and he's just not big enough to pass protect, really.
Yeah, it
comes down to.
Gotta be
talented runner, but
but he's like he's the perfect guy to have to try to get, like you put when we were doing our prediction, 15 to 20 touches. Like you don't really need him more than that, but I think that like 18 touches is the sweet spot for Phillip Lindsay.
Yeah, which Broncos, I don't think they got to.
No, I don't. The Broncos weren't running the ball effectively at all in this game.
No.
Let me look up their final.
Wasn't good.
No.
That's the thing is, interesting tweet that I was looking at just now from
Drew
Ben
Lock.
Albright.
Drew Lock was the leading rusher with 47 yards. So,
and those all came in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So what were you going to say? Albright's tweet?
Yeah, he said, so someone asked him why they aren't going up-tempo with Drew Lock, because I saw a stat that said his quarterback rating is 45 points higher. Maybe it's his passer rating when they're going up-tempo and not huddling. And Albright says, I think Shermer has PTSD about going up-tempo due to his time with Chip Kelly. Yeah, no clue if that's actually true, but it baffles that they don't.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. It's not like – it doesn't seem like there's any one reason why they don't, because they asked him – I think they asked Fangio about it earlier in the week after the up-tempo worked last week. And they said, is that something you guys want to do more often? And Fangio was like, yeah, it's probably something we'll look into. And it turns out it's something they look into when they have no choice but to go up tempo.
Yeah, and that was also, we put in the prediction episode. Well, I think I wrote it in there. Go to the up-tempo offense.
50-50 credit here.
And I got to point out when I make a good point, okay? Go to the up-tempo offense because it works. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So keep up-tempo in your brain, Will. If you're thinking about trying to double your money next week, I would bet on the Broncos running it on 2nd and long every play of the game. We're a little over halfway through the season, so check out DraftKings Sportsbook, again, America's top-rated sportsbook app, with so many storylines across both professional and collegiate sports. Collegiate sports that will push back Dave Chappelle's monologue on SNL for hours, you can bet on with DraftKings Sportsbook. And if you haven't downloaded DraftKings yet, do so. Use code DNVR to get your sports betting on. The Broncos did not beat the Falcons this week. They were close. I think Atlanta was only favored by 4. So the Falcons covered the spread. So probably if you're a diehard Broncos fans, not the ideal play for you. But DraftKings got tons of things you can bet on. They've got odds boosts every Sunday to help you make it rain. Rain. It's hard to rain inside the Mercedes-Benz Dome. DraftKings safe, reliable, and secure. So download DraftKings now with code DNVR. And when you sign up to get their can't miss offer, which is turning $1 into $100. DraftKings Sportsbook is insuring Sunday bets up to $100. That's right, you bet and they cover up to $100 when you use promo code DNVR during sign up for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You got to be 21. This is for Colorado. This is risk-free coverage paid out in site credits. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Okay, up-tempo. Here's my question. Is what we saw in the fourth quarter, the last 2 games, real from the Broncos offense? Or is that a result of 2 teams being up so many points that they stop playing aggressive defense and they're in more of a prevent type? I'm not saying they're running prevent every play, but I guess I'm having trouble trying to figure out whether or not this is just the result of defenses being like, all right, yeah, you guys can get your yards here, and then the Broncos are taking advantage of that and turning it into a close game.
It's hard to say that based off of just having watched the game, the Falcons game. I think last week, I mean, if you're going to prevent in the fourth quarter when you're only up 14 points, because it's not like the Broncos really came back like super, super late in the game. I know their last drive was at the last second, literally.
Right.
But they started that comeback late in the third quarter. So I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the Chargers were kind of letting them get nickel and dime down 14, knowing that they can and will blow this thing. The Falcons, it looked to me like they're still getting some pressure and trying things out as far as blitzing. I think Locke just figured out to go to Jeudy. Felt like pretty obvious that he was getting open. So the first touchdown to Jeudy, that was good route running, obviously. I've never seen anyone like fake the I'm open thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And then turn it around and catch a comeback route. That was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I thought the touchdown pass to Tim Patrick, there's no faking that. That was just a great throw. And
it was
then
a good throw.
The touchdown run. It's just it's playing hard-nosed football, not giving up, baby.
Yeah, it looked like
the pick was just what sunk them at the end.
Yeah, that interception late was bad. It looked like Drew Lock hurt his shoulder on that touchdown run too. Looked like he grimaced there. Jerry Judy's gonna be fucking good. They got KJ Hamler and end around, and I think Hamler.
I saw that and I was like, wow, you're using playmakers in space with blockers.
Yeah. They did throw another 2-yard pass to Noah Fant with nobody out to block for him, just on 3rd and long. So Shermer's still doing that bullshit.
Right.
But Hamler had the one decent kick return. The Broncos returning kicks is just not good. It is not a good thing. Tyree Cleveland had a decent one, but it was called back for
I think he had one where he went for the 29, maybe.
Cleveland?
Yeah, so that's good. Good job by him. So Jerry Jeudy had 125 yards.
Yeah, Judy's legit. Jeudy, Cortland Sutton on the field at the same time. I mean, Noah Fant, the first play that he was thrown to, he broke it for a big gain, and then he was limping off the field. So I don't know if he re-aggravated whatever injury he's had. So it looked like he was going to be 100% maybe impactful in this game. And then I think he was probably hobbled or not playing 100% after that. Albert O gets his first catch for a first down too. Immediately goes down clutching his knee. So he did not return to the game. It's just like it feels like every time things start to go Denver's way a little bit, something bad happens to him. Whether it's a bad play call, a turnover, an injury, it just feels like that's what we have to brace for the rest of this season.
At a certain point, we do have to operate under the knowledge that the season is entirely cursed.
Yep.
And that whatever good they do is in spite of having all the cards stacked against them. So
yes,
knowing all that and then coming out of this game losing just by 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, they're down.
There's a lot to work on. Clearly,
they're down 27-6 in this game. Maybe 27-3. I don't remember when that second field goal happened.
I think it was 27-6.
Okay, they were definitely down 27-6. So at least Atlanta learned to not get to that cursed 28 number. Are you tired of the 28-3? As tired of the 28-3 jokes as I am, Will? Or do you still enjoy seeing 50 sports dudes on Twitter tweeting about them anytime any team gets to 28 points?
I think most people on Twitter are just totally unoriginal.
Yeah. And
the 28-3 jokes, these things have such a shelf life too. It's like the Warriors 3-1 lead jokes. The only difference of this is stuck around longer is the Warriors came back and won 2 finals series the next 2 years. Falcons keep blowing leads. That's why this joke's still alive. So
yeah.
They need to, they need to fix that, and then we'll stop seeing these kinds of shitty, hacky jokes on Twitter.
Yeah. So the official, our official stance is the Falcons sort of deserve it because they keep doing it to themselves. But if you can resist a 28-3 reference on social media, please resist.
Please, yes. It's too much. Enough is enough.
Too much.
Just say no.
The good news is, even during a Broncos loss, I was able to get back to 30,000.1 Twitter followers. Lost a handful after very poignantly comparing Donald Trump to a combination of Tom Brady, Big Ben, and Joe Flacco. Very good tweet, I thought.
I think I missed that tweet. Can you run it by me real quick?
Yeah, I said Donald Trump handles losing with the grace and humility of Tom Brady, makes excuses at the rate of Ben Roethlisberger, and has the political career equivalent of Joe Flacco, which I thought was pretty spot-on analysis. Like, Joe Flacco shocked everyone, got that one big Super Bowl win, and just really didn't perform after that. And, we've seen Tom Brady when he is just down a few points, throws a tantrum. So, I thought it was funny. And it's not like a fucking political statement, but boy, are people sensitive.
They're very sensitive. Yeah.
Some guys had fun losing a bunch of followers. And I was like, all right, whatever. I was like, I'm not gonna lose any. And then they started dropping. I was like, oh, that fucking asshole was right. But it's I don't know. I stick by that tweet.
Man, if you can't
tweet a joke like that, what's the purpose of Twitter? What's the purpose of trying to smile sometimes?
Did you get some good stick to sports?
Oh yeah.
Stick to that's good sports.
Somebody called me a dumbass and said stick to sports and spelt dumbass as 2 words, so I was able to zing them.
That's always how it goes.
If I recognize a word as being spelled incorrectly, you are.
It's bad.
It's real
it's
bad.
Egregious. Yeah, well, I'm glad. This has been I don't know. Culturally, elections are the worst thing possible for social media and just general discourse.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And it was so nice to have football to break up today.
Were you
– it was just rabid.
Yeah. Were you watching college ball yesterday? Were you watching Clemson, Notre Dame?
I was, yeah. Up until the end. For some reason I decided I went upstairs and missed the really, really good ending.
Crazy overtime shit.
Yeah. I did see that they stormed the field, though.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was just like, I saw the end of the game, and I was like, man, I wish I had room in my life for college football.
That's the thing. It's you get some of the best endings ever, but most games like that, and then the USC-Arizona State game, I turned off early. So I was like, well, this is over. But it turns out, you get incredible finishes, and then 80% of the games are just total lopsided blowouts.
Yeah.
There's such a massive disparity in talent and recruiting and coaching in college football.
Yeah.
But the Nevada Wolfpack are 3-0, and their quarterback's looking pretty good.
Woo! Future Bronco quarterback from Nevada.
Who knows? He's only a sophomore, so we'll have to revisit that next year once we give Drew Lock another chance.
Broncos have good luck with guys from Nevada. Malik Reed, Brandon Marshall.
Virgil Green.
Virgil Green.
I say keep it coming.
Poor Virgil Green scored a touchdown for the Chargers or the week before they played the Broncos and just immediately got hurt.
He came down on his ankle in the end zone. That's got to be the most bittersweet feeling in the world.
Yeah. All right, well, obviously not a lot to celebrate today, but we didn't go live because I think we just needed to be calm and collected for this podcast. Keep your head up, Broncos fans. It's going to be ugly. A lot of this season's probably going to be pretty fucking ugly.
Hey, focus
And
on the positives while you can.
the little wins.
The 2 rookie wide receivers, they look like they're going to be good. It's nice to hit on your first 2 picks.
There's some pieces, and hopefully next season the Broncos can just deal with the normal amount of football injuries instead of this weird, ridiculous one where your entire starting defensive line is not playing and your corners are out. But no, bring them in. Bring them in, Will.
Oh, boy.
Just the corner of your dad's face.
There he goes. He's waving.
All right. And with that, I shall say
I need
good
my
night.
own office.
Yes.
And good luck.
Boom.